Greetings from San Francisco Children's Art Center. I'm teacher Amy, and in this video we're going to make our own miniature puppet theaters with our own character puppets. So the materials we'll need to do this are some drawing materials. I've got some markers and some crayons here. Whatever you have at home will work. If it's crayons, markers, color pencils, even just straight up pencil would be awesome. And then you'll need a pair of scissors. You'll need some paper. Now, if you happen to have like a little heavier cardstock paper, that's awesome. If you don't, regular paper will be fine. This just makes things a little easier sometimes. And then you'll need a little bit of like a notebook paper or some other paper that you can write some notes on. And then the last two things you'll need are some chopsticks, and you'll need a box. And if you don't have a box, that's okay. You can also just get like 2 pieces of cardboard that you're gonna tape together just like this. See if I can come and stand like that. So if you don't have a whole box, that's all right. 2 pieces of cardboard will work too. And then you'll need some tape. All right. And did I say chopsticks? Need a few chopsticks too. All right. So the thing that's awesome about making your own puppet theater is the stories that you can tell with it. And 2 really important parts of a story are the characters and the settings. So the characters are the people or the creatures or the whatever who are doing the acting. They're going to become your puppets. And the settings is the place where the story takes place. So we're going to do some little brainstorming here to get lots of good ideas about what characters you want to make and what drawings you want to make as the setting drawings that will become the background that goes into your puppet theater. So when I do brainstorms, it's literally like getting your brain going and coming up with as many ideas as you can. So you can see in the top of this, I wrote setting brainstorm. I'm gonna just list, and if you're doing with this with a couple different people and you can all get together and share your ideas, that's an even awesomer way to do this. So in this setting brainstorm, I'm gonna write, because I'm writing with Sharpie, I'm gonna put an extra piece of paper underneath. Setting brainstorms. So what are places that my story could take place? Well, it could be in my house. It could be in my neighborhood, at my grocery store. How about at the swimming pool? These are all places that maybe we go from time to time. Oh, a park. Park's fun. But you can start to get a little more creative. What are the places where you would like to go? Maybe you want to go to the rainforest, or at the bottom of the ocean, or maybe you want to go to a farm, or maybe you want to go to the moon. You can even make up imaginary places like Rainbow Fairyland, or Candyland, or a place where video games come to life. So many different ideas. The idea is you come up with as many ideas as you possibly can think of. I'm going to put a star beside the ones that are most interesting to me. I think I would like my story to take place in the ocean and on the moon. So I'm going to put stars by the ones that I come up with. You notice how these weren't the first ideas I had. I had so many other ideas, and I had to go through making 7 or 8 ideas until I came up with the ones that were most interesting to me. That's what a brainstorm does. It gets all of the ideas out there, and then you have lots of choices to make which one is most interesting to you. Let's do the same to make characters. Every story needs awesome characters. So I've got a character brainstorm sheet. And on this character brainstorm sheet, I folded my paper into 4 parts. And in each section, I wrote land, water, air, and people. So I'm going to brainstorm, well, what lives on land? Dogs. We'll keep people down here. Dogs live on land, a cow, a rock's on land. What else is on land? We can come up with, let's see, there's inchworm. So an inchworm's on land. What else is on land? Oh, plants, trees. There can be like stuff you find, like toys, etc. It doesn't only have to be animals or things in nature. It could be a yo-yo. Now we'll think about water. What's on water? Well, there's fish. What else is in water? It could be a boat. There could be a shark. There could be, I don't know, a crab or a lobster, a plankton or a whale. Again, lots of ideas. In the air, what's in the air? Well, a cloud. And there's birds. We can get specific, like an eagle or a hummingbird. What about a ladybug who crawls on the ground and then flies away? Do a ladybug. Lots of different things. The last thing to think about is people and different types of people. What are their jobs? How are they known in this world? So you could do a mom, or you could do, let's see, an army guy. Or maybe there's a business person. Maybe there's a fairy. Maybe there's a queen. Maybe there's a mechanic. So you want to fill this up with as many ideas as you can. And once again, start to put stars beside the ideas you like. Ooh, I like the idea of an inchworm. And I like the idea of a hummingbird. Oh, I like ladybug too. I like the whale idea. I like the shark idea. I like the queen idea. I like the business person idea. And what you want to do then is you want to mix and match these together, where you're going to take one thing from one category and mix it with something from another category. If you think about a character like SpongeBob on the cartoon, that's really just like a sponge that actually like lives under the sea, but he mixed it with like a human, a person who works at like a Krabby Shack, right? That's what makes him funny, is he's not just what he is for real, he's this combination of two different things. So we're gonna make these combo characters. So I might think about, oh, what happens if a cow mixed with a hummingbird? What might that look like? What happens if a lobster mixed with a fairy? A lobster fairy could be kind of funny. What about, let me look at some of the ones I did. An inchworm with a whale. That might be kind of funny. How about a shark and a business person? Yeah, I like that idea. And then, oh, I also really liked ladybug. And I really liked queen. I think I'm going to make two characters. One's going to be a shark business person, and one's going to be a ladybug queen. When you've made your own brainstorming list, you can come up with your own characters. Hopefully, you get some ideas that you feel really excited about. So from my settings, I decided on ocean and moon. I'm going to have two different settings. So I went ahead and I did some drawing. Here's one I did with some marker and crayon. That's kind of like under the sea, ocean. And then here's one I did on the moon. So these can be the background settings where my story is going to take place. Then I can always change. You can go from the bottom of the sea to the top of the moon. And then I took on these cards and I also made, here's my businessman shark. And here's my ladybug queen. So those were the things I decided on. Now I'm going to turn these into puppets. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to carefully cut out around. If your character has small little legs and stuff like my ladybug, you can cut a little like bubble around it. That's okay. You're going to want to get it as close to the sides as you can, but know that you don't have to like cut it so carefully that you end up like spending 4 hours cutting it out. I'm going to jump ahead and we'll come back to this video once I have these all cut out. All right, so I've got my business person shark and my ladybug queen. They're all cut out. I'm going to take my chopsticks and I'm going to tape my chopstick onto the back of my puppet. And I'm going to kind of put it so, if I put it way down here, it's going to flop around. I'm going to move it up to about the middle so it's got lots of stuff. And actually I'm going to kind of coming out the top. And I'll just tape it down, a little bit of tape. So now he can be his puppet. I'm going to do the same with my ladybug. So we have our puppets. And now comes the best part, your puppet theater. I took this box and I cut a hole out of the front and I cut a hole in the top. You're definitely gonna wanna have a grown-up help you with this part. So I put it inside. I'm gonna take a little tape. I'm just gonna put a tiny bit of tape in there just so it doesn't fall over on us. And close it down. There's your underwater scene. There's your shark and your underwater scene. What happens if he meets the ladybug queen in the underwater scene? Think of the stories that you can tell and what they'll do. I'm going to show you another thing you can do. If you don't have a box that sort of feels like the right size or shape to make a theater like that, you can always just take 2 pieces of cardboard that you've kind of taped like this, and then you can tape your scene to the cardboard. So I'm going to put a little piece of tape here. I'm going to tape it there. And then this piece I'm going to tape here. And that cardboard's going to hold your scene like this. So you can still do your puppet theater with your scene like that as well. So if you're on Zoom and you've been talking with friends and family on Zoom, here's a way you can turn this into a Zoom puppet theater. If you're using the style with the cardboard box, you can put this on a book or on top of another box and set it up in your camera on Zoom. And then you can put on a Zoom puppet show for whomever you're Zooming with. So the ladybug can go on the moon. Maybe she flies to the moon where she meets the shark and they come in together and play. And the awesome thing about Zoom is you can also record it. So if you wanted to record your own Zoom session with your own puppet theater, you can do it that way too. Zoom, zoom, zoom. So once you have all of your characters and your settings made, you can also decorate the outside of your box if you want to make it look like a theater or whatever you want to make it. The more decorations you put on it, the more individual it will become to you and your own imagination and ideas. I'm going to show you one last thing that's a little storytelling technique. I'm going to put this in here and I'll tape it down. And I'm going to talk about something called a story spine. A story spine is, they're like sentence starter prompts to get you telling a story that you make up as you go along. or we call that improvisation. So this is something that a lot of people do when they want to make up stories. So the text of this story spine will be copied in the comments below in the description of this video so you can have a copy of it for yourself. But it goes like this. Once upon a time, you fill in the blank. Every day, you fill in the blank, but one day you fill in the blank because of that, because of that, because of that, until finally and ever since then. So I'll show you how it works. You start with, once upon a time, there was a ladybug who loved to swim in the ocean. Every day, she'd dive in deep and she'd look for coral and seashells to gather and put in her collection. But one day, someone new came to her favorite swimming spot. It was a shark. And he said, "Stop taking all those corals and shells." Because of that, the queen got super angry. "You can't tell me what to do. I am queen of the ocean." Because of that, the shark became angry and chased her all around. Because of that, the queen put a magic spell on the shark. It zoom, 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 told him to stop being jealous. Because of that, the shark got back at her and said, "Zoom, zoom, zoom to you. I'm going to take all your shells and you'll never have any more." Until finally, they realized they weren't going to be able to live like this for much longer because neither of them were happy. So they decided instead to gather shells together. And ever since then, they've been friends, swimming, gathering shells and coral, and having a great time. To see how you can use those sentence starters to make up a story on your own. Your story will be completely different, but it gets you rolling on getting that storytelling happening. You can also do this on the Zoom video if you want to do it that way as well. You can write story after story. You can write them ahead of time, or you can make them up as you go along. I hope you had so much fun making the puppets in the puppet theater, and I hope you come up with amazing stories to share with your friends and your family, either in person in a story box or on Zoom with your Zoom puppet theater, and however you want to make it. Be sure to share videos if you've made any videos or photos of what you've created, and you can send them to our email at sfcac@childrensartscenter.org, and we'll share them on our community webpage so you can see what other kids have been making around and share what you've done as well. And join us again for some more fun.